There are some men who pursue love their entire lives. They beg for it, they bleed for it, they sing songs about it and still aren't clear why the woman never remains. But there's you, or at least the man you are evolving into, the man who doesn't pursue, the man who sits in the corner of a velvet room, drink in front of him, heart half broken, half gold. And she notices him. She always observes him. Because women don't fall in love with the loudest man in the room. They fall for the one who's already lived through the fire and didn't scream. If you think this way, if you alter the way you perceive her, the way you perceive yourself, you'll end your search for love. Oh, and by the way, I've got a treat for you. A free book, The Female Mind Control Handbook. It uncovers the underlying secrets to getting any woman to desire you. Take it now. Link in the description or pinned comment. 1. The technique of desiring her without requiring her. This is the contradiction. She desires you to desire her. But the moment you require her, it's finished. There's something about a man who stares at her like a familiar sunset, a still lovely thing, but not something that surprises. That sort of man doesn't fall. He allows love to find him. You don't tell him, "I miss you." You tell him, "I remember." You don't ask her where she has been. You allow her to touch the vacancy you left. Because this is what nobody warns you about. A woman falls harder when she believes she nearly lost you and you didn't pursue. You remain elusive, not cold, not hurtful, just detached. And within detachment, you become an addiction, the type she has a taste of and never loses track of. When you're not afraid to let her go, she begins to dread losing you. When you don't immediately respond, she reads each message twice. When you say less, she thinks more. When you love without losing yourself, she wonders, what does he know that other men don't? The answer, you don't worship her beauty, you see it. You don't pursue her love, you call to it. And if she doesn't grant it, you continue on with your day, your life, your symphony of solitude, such as a man who has lived 1,000 lifetimes and doesn't require being saved. And that's why she wishes to save you. 2. Don't be the poem, be the poet. Every guy desires to be loved, to be worshipped, to be the subject of lipstick-stained diaries and remembered in cologne. But the guy women pursue, he's not the poem, he's the guy writing it. She is his muse, not his quest. He gazes at her with curiosity, not fixation, and that makes her come undone. You see, women are accustomed to being the fantasy. They are accustomed to men crumpling under the burden of their hips, their scent, their immaculate little deceptions. But when you're the one who gets to write the story, when you decide what she is in your world, you shift the entire cadence of the game. You begin to ask the questions she's never been asked. You talk like someone who's walked through madness and returned wiser. You turn into an enigma she's desperate to unravel, not a reward she already knows how to claim. And in the enigma, she'll find herself doing things she vowed she never would. Calling first, dropping by unexpectedly, acknowledging feelings before she even knows what they are. Not because you pleaded with her for her love, but because you provided her with something to be in your world. And she wants that part more than anything. 3. Let her fight with your peace. Do you want her to pursue you? Here's a tip. Let her fight for something more than herself. And that, brother, is your peace. She needs to sense it, in the manner in which you savor your own presence, in the quiet of your mornings, in the ceremony of your coffee, in the fact that nothing hastens you. You are not indifferent. You're unavailable to chaos because you've built something women rarely see anymore. A man who doesn't need fixing, a man who's already whole. And that makes her question her value. Not because you've made her feel less, but because your silence causes her to question if she's ever known a man such as you. She'll attempt to be louder than your silence. She'll dance, text, post, perform, but nothing will disturb you because you no longer desire her attention. You're in love with your peace, and if she desires you, she'll have to come in quiet, respectful, ready. 4. Make her feel everything in silence. Words are cheap. She's heard them all. What she's hungry for is a man who can make her knees weak with a glance. The kind of glance that says, "I've seen versions of you you haven't met yet." You don't say, "I want you." Your silence says it for you. At dinner, in a hallway, across a crowded room. You keep eye contact not as a boy seeking approval, but as a man who already owns the moment, and she can feel it. Her breath shifts, her mind whirls, her body hears, because your gaze doesn't seek anything. It takes nothing, and that makes it unforgettable. Women pursue that energy, that silent draw, that weight you cast without realizing it. Be the guy whose eyes write verse, but whose lips never hurry the tale. Let her wait, let her speculate. And when she finally asks you what you're thinking, smile and do not answer. Let her imagination work its magic. 5. Leave a little ghost of yourself behind. You want to know why certain men are never forgotten? It's not that they sent her flowers or called every evening or wrote love songs in their diary. It's because they left behind something, a feeling, a moment, a taste. And now, regardless of who touches her, she's comparing it to you. Perhaps it's the way you brushed hair out of her eyes without a word. Perhaps it's how your voice softened when you whispered her name. Perhaps it's the way she felt safe when you said nothing at all. It doesn't take a dramatic move, just a moment so genuine, so unpracticed, so yours, that she keeps it with her. You are the ghost in her songs, the pain in her favorite spots, the man she desires again but can't find in anyone else. And you don't remind her, you don't call out, because the man who ends up a memory never has to beg to be remembered. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be remembered, not for how loud you were, but for how silent you stayed while the world begged for your attention. Let them talk. Let her wonder. Let her chase a man who no longer chases anything but his truth. If you think this way, if you live this way, she won't just desire you. She'll crave you. She'll pursue you, even if it costs her confronting parts of herself she never wanted to confront. Subscribe if you're finished chasing and ready to become the kind of man women never forget. This channel is where depth and desire meet, where men like you remember their power, where fantasy becomes your reality. Say the word velvet if you've ever been soft on the outside but etched in flames on the inside. If your silence screams more than her words, then say it. Velvet.